Quote, Israelis' violence has structured every aspect of Palestinians' existence for 75 years, unquote. They continued, quote, from systemic, quote, from systematized, quote, from systematized land seizures. Does that sound familiar? Land and commercial property. Mm-hmm. To routine airstrikes, arbitrary detentions, to military checkpoints and enforced family separation, to targeting killings. Palestinians have been forced to live in a state of death, both slow and sudden, unquote. Sounds just like black Americans or black people, period, worldwide. And those of us who have actually had, unfortunately, the misfortune of being at the brunt of the Israelis or the uh, what I guess they're considered Jewish people uh, in the city of New York, and the Arab people, maybe they are, like somewhat being tricked or were being tricked and being used and didn't know it. I don't know. I can't really say. But, people have made decisions, and, it turns out that these are the two groups involved in certain decisions that were made concerning my family personally and my mother and those two buildings in the city of New York. Okay? So I'm going to keep reminding and mentioning the story until the cows come home, until somebody decides that they need to do research into it, look into it to find out what's it all about. But what I just read, it sounds identical to how black people have had to live our life from the time we come out of our mother's womb until the time we transition on from this life. So anyway, here we go. Quote, today the Palestinians' ordeal enters into uncharted territory, unquote, the group wrote. The coming days will require a firm stand against retaliation. We will call on the Harvard community to take action to stop the ongoing annihilation of Palestinians. The Post has reached out to Harvard University for comment. The letter was signed by groups including the African American Resistance Organization, okay, Amnesty International, the Harvard Islamic Society, and the Harvard Jews for Liberation. Okay? Can any of those organizations give me, shoot me an email, Terrain Writer, TerrainWriter, at gmail.com. I need some legal assistance. Okay? I need, if nothing else, someone to get the paperwork from HUD, okay, now at 900 Gold Street there in Manhattan, and any other paperwork that the city of New York has about my mother's buildings. Yep, I need him. I need what I have a right to as a citizen. It's public information. So any of these organizations, if you'd like to shoot me an email and you want to know, well, what happened to your mom's property at 313 Nostrand Avenue on the front side, and on the side of that building is Lafayette. I forget the number for the side of the building, but it's definitely on the Lafayette side of the street. And then 990 Broadway. Okay? Investigate that. Help me to not talk about this anymore, because, people are saying that I'm picking on people. So I don't want to be picking on anyone. I want to be right and exact. I need help. Okay? See, just like we need reparations now, reparations is justice for world peace. For world peace. Okay? And the Jewish man, you came downstairs when I came to 900 Gold Street. I had just had stomach surgery. But I was determined to come down there and find out, can I get the paperwork from the city of New York about my mother's property? Don't you remember, you, the Hasidic Jew man, when you sent the Caribbean woman downstairs to talk to me? I don't know which Caribbean island she was from, but she was from the Caribbean. And we sat down and talked for quite like 10 or 15 minutes. Next thing I know, you had come downstairs and it was ice and snow out on the ground in New York at that time. That was in February. You came downstairs with no coat on and proceeded to go to the door as if you were going out the door, literally within maybe 10 feet from where I was sitting. And you stopped at the door and you turned around and you stared very hard at me. Do you remember that, Mr. Hasidic Jew man that worked at 900 Gold Street? Do you remember when Terrain, okay, the queen, one of them, the goddess, one of them, came down to your office building begging you all to help me, to please give me the records? I have a right to it as an American citizen. I put in my FOIL request with every agency. Nobody's responding to me. The mayor's office, you all, nobody's cooperating. Do you all remember there were 3 women that I talked to? Okay, at that time. It wasn't just a Caribbean black woman. Okay, it was 2 other women. One was a Spanish woman and one was a white woman. We were all emailing. I'm going to put the emails up so you can see the emails. None of them did their job to give me answers. Okay, so now here we are, and that was 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 5 years ago. Okay, I've been talking about my mother's property now for the last 10 plus years. Okay, 10 plus years, if not longer. And you all have not tried to help me at all. You've denied me legal representation. You ignore me. You brush it under the rug. You put things out there to make people think that I'm crazy or I'm just picking on you all or whatever. But now look at how, life is, and the tables are turning. I don't condone, anything that it shouldn't be, that we have to have these disputes, but, like, you can't blame this on the black community. You see, you cannot. This is something that we're not involved in. We have nothing to do with, what's going on there in Israel, with the Israelis and the Hamas. What we can say is our personal experience with the 2 communities. And I've shared my story a million times. It was the Jewish community that was involved, along with the Arab community, along with the Asian community, along with the Black Caribbean community, along with the Puerto Rican Latino community that were involved in stealing my mother's buildings. Primarily in the very beginning stages, it was only the Jewish community and the Arab community. These are facts. Facts. So it has affected my life immensely. And I'm never going to shut up about it. Never. Because none of you all will. Just like right now what's happening, you'll never feel the need to be quiet about this. I already are hearing you all associate this with it being as bad as during the Holocaust. See? So what we've experienced by people who didn't practice law the way they should, who was taking advantage of our community and us, our individual stories. Many of us had to spend our entire life behind decisions that people who had more power than us made. And it affected our lives in many very adverse ways. So, yeah, I wanted to read that. That's what the young people over at Harvard feel about the situation at hand. Okay?